Welcome to Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I am your host, Tricia Carr. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It is a beautiful Sunday morning in Hollywood, California, from which we are broadcasting. This is the Sunset Gower's studios in Hollywood with the Universal Broadcasting Network. And I'm so honored to be here with Jarvis Essex, my producer. Hello, Jarvis. We always have such a magical time together when we do these broadcasts. So thank you, Jarvis. Thank you, Tony Sweet, who is the owner of UBN. And thank you, everyone who is here with me today. It is really going to be a fantastic show, and because there's just so much energy and intention and love leading up to this, and the intention and energy is from you and from your hearts. So I am so excited to see what you guys have been creating, and how it will show up in this show. And that goes for all of y'all listening in the archives, because you contribute your energy. All of your intention is going into this show, even if you didn't listen to it live. You are still here with us, so thank you. I'm calling out to you right now. And you can hear us in the archives on my YouTube channel, or you can watch it on the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Tricia Carr. And then we are also podcasting from iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, on iHeartRadio. And by the way, iHeartRadio, y'all, I have just started using iHeart regularly, and man, that's a great service. There is every kind of music you can imagine, every kind of podcast you can you get your hands on, including, obviously, Charmed Life. So I highly recommend checking out iHeart. You can have it as an app on your phone, and you could just find, the other day I was just going crazy rocking out to the hits of the 80s. It was a really fun playlist, just singing my face off while I was on a really long drive. So I highly recommend iHeart. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. You guys recognize? Did you recognize that? Yeah. Kick it over here, baby pops. For all you youngins, that's a Beastie Boy lyric. I gotta tickle Jarvis sometimes. All right. So today I titled this show, Let the Field Be Your Oracle. And I'm going to be doing a recap from a workshop that I attended yesterday with Abraham-Hicks. Do you guys know who Abraham-Hicks is? You need to get on that train if you don't. And if you do, I think you guys are going to be very excited to hear all the cool stuff that happened in coalescence and in synchronicity with my attendance of that workshop just yesterday as we're broadcasting. So Abraham-Hicks, this is a speaker, a teacher, an author. Her name is Esther Hicks, and she brings forth a message from a non-physical energy who goes by Abraham. As I've heard her explain it before, she doesn't actually really use the word channel. I think not because it's not channeling, because there's all kinds of, everything is channeling. Actually, just literally yesterday in the workshop, she said something about, she referenced something really simple, like, have you ever... oh gosh, I forgot. Something really simple, like you walked into the room and you couldn't, it was a room you hadn't been in before, but you just knew exactly where the light switch was, something like that. It wasn't that, but it was something that simple, and maybe that example is better than the one she gave for all of us. She's like, yeah, that's channeling. That right there, that's channeling. Channeling is just your connection with your inner being, or the universe, or the field, as I'm calling it today in the title of this episode. So anyway, Esther Hicks brings forth basically a download of information, of energy, and translates it. And this comes from, like I say, a collection of non-physical energy that goes by Abraham. It's just basically a name that we can reference, because humans, we are pattern seekers, and things like names help us to find the pattern of feeling energy that will help us to connect with it. That's really what names and words are. They're just signposts. So Esther Hicks is, I think she's been doing this for over 30 years, 20 years, 25, 30 years. I highly recommend finding this work, Abraham-Hicks, if you are not onto it. But it's a teaching of law of attraction, is very core to the teaching here. And so my attendance to the workshop was just yesterday, but my energetic co-creation of what would happen with the workshop and then with today's show started before that. It actually, it started in the eternal past, but so far as what I'm notating right now today, it started for me on Thursday, or was it Friday? Friday. Let's just call it Friday. And I actually had I had an appointment with someone I was kind of coaching. She is a teacher. She's a spiritual teacher, and she's a very empathic person. And so I was giving her a little bit of counseling and coaching so that she could take her teaching practice to a new forum. And so we were talking about it, and we were also talking about her empathic nature and all that kind of stuff. And basically what happened was there were a few key things that came up in our conversation that almost literally came out in the Abraham-Hicks Workshop the very next day. So just to give you an idea of where we're going with this. And one of the things what I literally said to this person the day before, I'm just going to call her Susan. That's not her actual name, but I didn't ask her if I could mention her name today. So I'm just going to call her Susan, and I have to write that down so I don't forget what name I gave her. Susan was talking about, I don't remember, Susan was asking about, about taking her practice up and the different things that we were going to do and the forum that she was taking it to. And then she was also talking about different projects that she sometimes starts and engages in. And she says sometimes she starts a project and she'll get going with it, and then she actually feels like she pushes a little too hard and it starts to fall apart. And so I was explaining to her that will is something that we can partner with, our will, how we move things forward. And basically I had explained to me a couple of years ago, by a tree, by the way, you can connect with trees. You guys know this, but I actually telepathically was connecting with this tree, and he was giving me very literal, what I could translate into language, messages, not unlike what Esther does with Abraham. And the tree explained to me, he said, Will. And I said, is that your name? And he says, I don't need a name. I'm a tree. But I still call him Will the tree. And he explained to me that will is basically a living word. And I actually just gave this teaching in the Lightworkers Lab, that spiritual community I teach and moderate in. And I gave a little lesson on living words. They are consciousnesses that we could actually partner with and receive counsel from in meditation, much the way that we would, say, a spirit guide or an angel or something. So will is a living word, is a consciousness. And it is innocent, and it can work with us, can partner with us. And by innocent, I mean that it's neutral. It doesn't have any particular opinion, or, it isn't benevolent or malevolent. It's benevolent if you consider it almost like a law, like gravity. Gravity is a law. If we work with it in flow, then it saves us. We can depend on it. So I'm telling this to Susan, and I say, if we actually we try to partner with will and we force our way forward when we're not ready, or the field isn't ready, if we have an intention or a desire, then basically this is something that I learned in Penny Pierce's book. Oh goodness, I can't remember right now. The Age of Intuition. That's it. She says that the field will correct you. If you are forcing yourself forward too far, the field will correct you. So basically what you can do, you have a desire and you start to move forward with your desire and all of and receiving all of the cooperation from the field or the universe. You can also then allow the field to be an oracle. Let the field be your oracle. And that's literally what I said to Susan. And as I said it, I was like, whoa, that's cool. I've never said that before. So you can let the field be your oracle, because as you're moving forward with a desire, if we just think of nature, a flower is growing, but sometimes, the universe or an ecosystem needs to respond, and the season needs to get just right. And we aren't separate in what we're doing. So the ecosystem needs to adjust, and then we just take a pause. It's not like a flower just goes, whoop, and then it's, that would be uneventful if there weren't ebbs and flows. And so the field, the ecosystem needs to adjust. And as you call out your desire, you place your order with the universe, or like I liken it also to being in a restaurant. You place your order. Well, you got to let the chef go and prepare your meal a little bit too. And meanwhile, you get to relax into the situation. So the field will be showing you that this is a time to sit back and relax. Not only the field, and then as well, you are receiving more and more information and changing and being in your experience and letting the experience inform you about how you want to perfect this desire. And so we can just be in flow right now by letting the field be an oracle to us, whether it's time to take those steps forward with a lot of passion or it's time to sit back with a lot of peace. So this is what I was telling Susan. And then the next day, I'm at the workshop, and something really interesting happened on the way to the workshop. I was running a bit close. Let's not say late. Let's say close. And, when you're running late or, the schedule is tight, you have the choice to move swiftly, sure, and be stressed out and self-judgmental, or you can move swiftly and be in acceptance of the fact that this is all just working out in perfect timing. Actually, Jarvis and I have talked about that before. About, one time Jarvis said he showed up to work and it turned out it was a mistake. He didn't have to be at work that day. And he's like, well, now why the heck? And it turned out he went around a corner. Jarvis, am I getting this right? And then you came into contact with someone who needed your help. Yeah. And he saw that. And so that was really obvious, that reward, that he actually went around the corner and he had for a moment, and we don't have to be perfect because he was a bit frustrated when he's like, why did I come into work? And he's like, well, that's fine, and relaxed. And then this beautiful moment of healing happened. You never know what else Jarvis's drive impacted that day. Like we say, maybe him stopping at the red light at the right time kept someone else from being distracted and having a collision because he happened to be an oracle for them. He was a representation and open as one who could be used by divine to save someone else's life, and in countless ways that we don't even understand. So I was driving along, and I have decided every time that I'm running late, it's just an opportunity to experience a miracle. And so I'm driving along, and it came to me some other words that I've heard from someone I've spoken about on the show before. Daryl Anka is a person who channels a fifth dimensional ET called Bashar. And I've heard Bashar say that we are channeling or selecting into our reality potential realities billions of times per second because, as we know, energy cannot be destroyed. So all the thoughts that you have, the energies that you organize together in a particular thought, they exist because non-physical existence is the same as physical existence. I should say it's as real, not the same. It's a different quality, but it's as real. So what's actually going on here energetically is we are selecting realities that already exist. Does that blow your mind a little bit? Let it blow your mind because it feels good. It's a good kind of blowing. It just shows us how powerful we are. I mean, did you hear something naughty in that, Jarvis? Oh, no. Jarvis dirty. I told you we were going to have fun today. So, no, it just shows us how powerful we are. And here's the thing. If you come from the church like I do, and Jarvis, I call us expats, expatriates, that you know that in the Bible, we are created in God's image. That's what the Bible says. And so what is God? God is the creator. And so we are creators. That's the image of God. We get to create our reality so specifically. If you can sit back in that flow and just continue to select, I want to feel good in this moment. I want the fact that I'm running close or running late to be the perfect reason. I want to believe that there are all kinds of unseen things that I am dancing in cooperatively to save lives or uplift or seek and connect with my own personal joy of experience. You can actually make those choices minute by minute, and that is selecting a reality, a potential reality, and making it your reality. And so I felt that so viscerally as I was about to turn the corner to go into the workshop. I'm turning right, and then I was like, oh, cool, I felt that. And it was really cool, and I just felt so magical in a real way. I turned the corner, and I'm moving along. I'm looking at my navigation on my phone, and it's telling me that the hotel is this big hotel, that it's on the right. And I'm looking on the right, and I'm looking on the right, and we pass it. And I'm like, well, there was no hotel there. I turn around like twice, and I'm like, man alive, it's now like 5 minutes past the time the workshop was starting. That's okay. Obviously, it's perfect timing. There's some reason why this is going to be really cool. And then it took me I had to turn around 3 times. It's just on the other side of the street. But, maybe a few minutes, a little bit later, I just kept deciding. And then along the way there, while I was about to drive up, I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to valet. I really have a pet peeve about valet because I don't like waiting after. I don't care about the paying for it. I'd rather walk 2 blocks than stand there and wait for 7 minutes for the valet. Maybe it's silly, but it's just my preference. So driving in, I try to self-park, and self-parking is full. Again, more time that I'm just being late. And I'm like, okay, this is perfect timing. That's what's happening here. And so I do go on valet, and I just decided, you know what? There are 500 people at this conference today, this workshop, and not to mention this is a huge hotel. Valet is going to be busy today, but I just don't want to wait when I'm done. So I'm giving him the key. I trust that I actually showed up the perfect timing to align my car in the right order. This is what I really just decided. And I was like, it's being late today actually made it so that my car was in the right order when we exit, that it's going to actually be very swift for me. All right. So that's how I started my trip to the Abraham-Hicks Workshop. And so then as we got into the workshop, there were just, like I said, some really amazing things. Like I told you how I was talking about gravity with Susan, and how gravity is a partner that is just neutral and innocent, and we can partner with gravity. Well, Abraham was talking also about gravity during the workshop. And so what she said was, you don't have to know all about the law of attraction to some detail that we're talking about here in order for the law of attraction to work, because it's a law, just like gravity, she says. She says, if you don't really understand gravity, know the word, or understand what it is, it's so far as physics is concerned, and that in-depth kind of nature, you're not going to walk out the door and accidentally fall up. So the thing is, what I want to let you guys know is you don't have to try really hard to understand this stuff that we're talking about, how you can be in flow. It's all very natural for you. Your natural state is feeling good and being joyful and connecting with and seeking and always pursuing the joy and the bliss of the situation. That's actually your natural state. So you don't have to do a ton of work and effort in order to be in flow. It's actually, we stop fighting and we stop working and we stop resisting. Now, I will say that the kind of work that we do to make sure that we can connect with that really happens in meditation, because in meditation, you get to know your own space and you get to connect with your own peace and clarity and stillness. And doing that meditation every single day, if you don't have a meditation practice, it could be prayer, because prayer is a very similar thing. I think sometimes when we use the word prayer, there are meditative times in there as well. So semantics, but I just want you to know, just a little side note on meditation. If you're just starting your meditation practice, the most important thing is consistency, is doing it every day. And your mind will start to relax. And something that my friend and a teacher named Crystal Compton, who I talk about all the time, she just was put up a YouTube video, and she was talking about meditation. And she said, if you sit for 30 minutes and for 29 of those minutes of your meditation, your mind is just chattering away, and then there's only 1 minute of clarity and peace. She said every one of those 30 minutes counts, including the 29. And she said, and then the next day when you do it, you might get 90 seconds. The next day, 5 minutes. So just so you know, it is challenging for everyone, just like any new practices, just like starting a new exercise, anything like that. But the reward actually comes really quickly with consistency. And that's how you can connect with that flow and the ability to hear the difference between what Abraham-Hicks was talking about yesterday, receiving a thought and thinking a thought. Because when we receive a thought, we're receiving it from that higher self, or from the universe, the field, inner being, whatever, all the same stuff. That's all the same stuff. Source energy, God. Receiving a thought is you being in connection with, coalescence with the field or the ecosystem, the universe. Being in resonance and perfect communication and flow with your higher self. Receiving a thought is you creating, as opposed to thinking a thought, which is old news that's already been created and it's basically in the past, no longer serving you. No, it's to a degree, I'm being a little extreme there, because thinking a thought, we think a thought because we understand a system, and so we're sourcing this, and yeah, you're creating with that system. But I think you can understand how I'm juxtapositioning that. We're talking more about moment to moment and being in a feeling space, and receiving a thought. And that's how, like when I was driving, I received the thought that everything was going to be perfect as long as I just chose that reality in this time. So I found that really beautiful. So I just want to tell you, she says, hold on, I'm looking at my notes now. Pardon me for being a little clunky. I want to tell you, so I have some quotes here, some things notes that I took down during the Abraham-Hicks seminar. These are somewhat paraphrased because I was just taking notes really quickly, but I want to neither misrepresent nor, take her words as my own. So just so you know, this is where I'm going here. So she says, you can know what your inner being is telling you all the time. That's the receiving the thought place, state of being, basically. She says, follow your impulses of bliss. So we have impulses all the time. The ones that are connected with bliss, like me just deciding that I wanted the valet to be a perfect situation for me. You know what I mean? That was me just following an impulse of bliss. And that seems like I'm not even doing anything, but I am doing something. By choosing a new feeling state, choosing an emotion, a feeling, and an experience I want to have as my reality, that is a doing. And that was me following an impulse of bliss. She says, when we're going along our path, there is some resistance. There are hang-ups, you know what I mean? Like little things that are in your way. She says, but those are just put there by your beliefs. The beliefs of, let's say if the hang up, if I selected the belief of I'm going to be late and I'm missing a really important part of the seminar and I'm going to be not going to be able to park, I could have just selected those beliefs as I turned the corner. And me just running late, by the way, me running late, that was put together by my beliefs, and me deciding to be in flow, I took that resistance or that hang up of getting to the workshop, and I allowed my inner being to show me the smoothest path through that. And then that's how miracles can happen. And there is a miracle that happens here. So she says the resistance or the hang-ups are put on your path. They are put there by your beliefs. Your inner being will show you the easiest way around those hang-ups. And the simplest thing about that, how your inner being shows that to you, is just by receiving a thought, or receiving the opportunity to feel a way that you prefer, which is, I'm just expecting something wonderful to happen here. She says, pretty soon, your faith will be so strong that those hang-ups will just smooth out. It's like they will just melt away because you're just moving in that flow. You're just choosing those emotions that you prefer all the time, those feeling experiences that you are snapping into from potential reality to your actual reality. And she, like I said, this is when she was giving the example of gravity. She says, you won't accidentally fall up if you don't know all about gravity. It's just very natural to you to actually be in that space of feeling better, of connecting with wellness, vitality, and things working out for you. So then this reminded me again about like what I had just said the day before, let the field be your oracle. The field was showing me that the overflow parking or the self-parking section was full. Okay, then I'm not supposed to self-park. What is the cool thing that the field is leading me to? How shall I be more patient and in peace about this? So she also said along the lines of when Susan said the day before that sometimes I kind of rush ahead or things start to fall apart, Abraham-Hicks says that if you take action before you're in alignment, you're going to miss out on the offering of the universe. So if you do move ahead a little bit because, I'm being driven and I want this to happen and I'm forcing it, that's kind of a fear-based thing. Like I need this to happen because something bad will happen, as opposed to I have this beautiful unfolding that I'm allowing. And that's how we actually cooperate with the universe, because the universe is also out there. That's the chef in the kitchen preparing it for you. And then you also soaking up your experience so you could be better prepared for the offering and the beautiful, abundant deliverance of this desire. So then at the end of the workshop, where it was winding down, it was getting close to the end, by the hour that we knew that we were going to be ending. And I could feel her wrapping up. Say it was about 15 minutes till. And I started asking myself, all right, oh, by the way, I want to tell y'all that we are taking calls, 323-524-2599. I forgot to say that at the top of the hour, but that's okay. I didn't really forget. I was actually wanting to share this experience in this recap. So at the end of the seminar, it was about 15 minutes till, and there were other people who started to get up because they were thinking like, I do not want to wait in valet. I don't want to be 500th in line for that valet line. Everybody was thinking this. They maybe had the same pet peeve about valet as I do. And I was there, and my lower mind, or whatever, my habit, the thoughts that I was thinking was saying, do you want to leave early so that you can miss that line? You don't like it. And then my higher mind and my memory of how deliberately I had created the reality that I had shown up at the perfect time to make my car in the right space. I was like, no. I'm still trusting in that. It's going to work out perfectly. Something's going to work. It's all working out perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and soak up the last few minutes of this workshop that, I paid money for. I got out on a Saturday to do it. A few more minutes walk by, go by, and there are people walking by who are getting up early. And then I was oh, that's a bummer. If I were having that experience of them walking out, I'm glad I'm not choosing that right now. I'm glad I'm choosing the one where this is all just going to work out really well. And then I stopped thinking about it altogether. I just put it away. It's like 5 more minutes. Applause, everyone, has their applause. I actually was so relaxed. I just kind of sat there. People started to go out the door. And I was like, is there something else going to happen? Is there anything else cool that's going to happen in here? No, I guess we're done. So I didn't even leave in a hurried fashion. And I'm walking out with everybody else. But somehow, without even being very hurried, I was like the second person at the valet window, which was weird to me. I didn't even really see how that happened. I handed my ticket. It seemed like, from my perspective, I was only the second person. I handed my ticket, and then I walked around the booth where the cashier was, and my car was right there. This is a huge hotel. At least 500 people in attendance of this workshop, and I don't know how many people staying in the hotel. I don't even know where they put all of the cars, but somehow my car was right there. And I was standing there for 30 seconds, and I was like, oh, well, that's my car. And then I walked around the side, and there was the valet person sitting in it, and he said, and I was like, yeah, this is my car. And he said, I don't know what you did, but they left your car right here. Jarvis, let that sink in. He literally said that. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then he left, and I was still saying, thank you. Like, I was just saying thank you to the field for helping me to cooperate, to coordinate this really crazy experience. It was wild. It was really fun. And it was just so fun. And then I get to come and share it with you. You guys can think that I'm full of beans and I made this up, but I swear to you, the valet even said it to me, because him saying that to me, I think, really helped me to connect with it more fully, because otherwise I would have thought that I was full of beans. But he said, I don't know what you said to them or what you did when you left your car here, but they left your car right here. And it's so funny. It was right by the pay booth. So, another thing, I think we do have a call, so I'm going to get right to you who's on the line there. I want to tell you that another thing that she said was, sometimes when we're trying to weigh out whether we should move forward, as in our partnership with Will, pursue our desires. She says, should I dig in and try harder? You know what I mean? Conventional society is telling us that we have to, force ourselves, and we have to, the phrase, work our asses off. And I'm like, I've said this before on this show. Well, I need an ass. I like asses. We don't want to work our ass off. I'm being funny, but at the same time, it's a pretty good cautionary metaphor. You don't want to work yourself to the point where you lose a part of yourself. That's not good, because you want to be the whole you is the one who wants to have the experience, ass and all. So Jarvis is cracking up. All right. So she says, should I dig in and try harder or release it to the universe? That's the question we ask ourselves when we're trying to manifest something, some desire. Well, the answer to that is always release it to the universe. Always let the field be your oracle. always trust that you are selecting those blissful experiences. If you just trust that, then you are. And the path gets smoothed out even more. And the resistance and the hang-ups, they become fun little obstacle courses that are actually just improving you and allowing you to have a dynamic experience. Because how boring would it be if nothing ever happened? It wouldn't even be a life. It wouldn't be a game. It wouldn't be a journey. So I have actually another little part to share, but I'm going to take, we have a call? Great, yeah. Let's take that call and see what we are doing with this.
And these people get...
Oh, what was that? That was somebody else's voice. That was not mine. Hello, angels? Are you talking? Is that the call? Is that on the line? No, that was something else to do. So pardon us while we have a technical difficulty.
Can you hear me?
I can now. We were hearing somebody else. Some other teacher was trying to get up in my game. Who's this?
My turn.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to see if Spirit had any message for me.
Well, who are you? What's your name?
My name's Allie.
Allie? How do you spell it? A-L-L-Y?
It's A-L-I.
A-L-I. Well, that you know, Allie, that is my maiden name, my maiden last name, Allie, but it's spelled.
No way.
Yeah, but it's not spelled all cute like yours. It's spelled more like the place where cats die and trash is taken out to. So I don't know what my ancestors were doing.
And Allie, that's so cute.
Yeah, but that is my maiden last name. So I want you to contribute your energy a little bit more to this question. Tell me, I want you to tell me what you really want to know about right now, because Spirit can talk about all kinds of things for you, and I like for you to just create a little more intention in it. So what area are you looking for messaging around?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of broad. I'm just kind of looking for guidance and next steps for me and my career and location.
Okay, cool. So let's see. You want a career and location because you have some kind of independent practice situation, some kind of entrepreneurial thing. Is this what's happening?
Yeah. I'm kind of at the beginning stages of that.
Okay. Well, I see you with books in front of you. I see you studying a little bit more. I see you, but also taking action at the same time. So both of these things would be really key. Continuing your study and the different ways that you are not only in the area of the heart and like the spiritual aspects and that kind of study for what you're doing, but also the business aspects of it to go ahead. So the parts that seem like they're dry and then the parts that seem like they're really juicy, both of those, you can go ahead and keep your attention there. They are feeding you. However, that does not mean you need to reach some kind of finish line before you take action. And you are taking action. And I see that some days it's a little bit more of the study and research, and then some other days there's a little bit more action, and that's perfect. You can go ahead and let those balances just move you back and forth, and it's almost like the study and research and and not only the study and research, but it's also like the building of it and all of the technical aspects, which whether it's the website and the different things there, the red tape kind of stuff, that is it's all good. And that's almost more like that business is more like the yin, and then the yang is the going ahead and doing it and practicing and making the phone calls and and doing the work as well. And then, is that making some sense for you so far?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. And so the entrepreneurial way, you see that as being a good thing for me, a good path for me? Absolutely.
Now, I see, so you have something, it's okay that you keep a part-time kind of thing going on right now, because that is just kind of, you actually are learning a lot from there too. So you could see it feels like, you're segueing more. So whatever the non-entrepreneurial, the thing that you're working for someone or something else, that keep your eyes open there, you're learning there too. And just let that be, I created this so that I could learn so much more and take that into my business. It feels like you're really you're really on your way. And you just staying in that mindset of all of this is blessing that I've created, all of this is blessing, that you're not going to have a lot of hitch. Well, it's literally what we're talking about today. It's all about having that mindset of positive expectations. And this will actually move you along really swiftly. You being able to, and so it's okay
awesome.
to keep, yeah. Everything it's really a dance that you're just, you're really good at, and every day is just a dance movement. And so some days the music is a little slower and moodier, and other days it's very excited and you're tap dancing, and everything is working out for you. And you say location. Okay. So you are are you in California? Something about California?
Yeah, I just moved back to California.
Oh, okay. So then that sounds like a big ping to me. That's good. And so here, yes, you have a lot of fruit to reap here. The key is to stop listening to, release some of that old conventional stuff about the economy and how expensive it is and how hard it is. Almost like in New York, which is just the other coast. If I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. Like, it's so hard, and how can you do things like that there? You know what I mean? Like, it's a hard place to do it. Forget about that. It doesn't matter. We are actually we are more spirit than we are physical, and spirit is non-local. But you have a great feeling that you're connecting with in California, and I think it's a good thing.
Yay. Okay, that makes me feel great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And go ahead and step out a little bit and make some of those contacts. It's not even like you need a ton, but there are some dynamic relationships that you can connect with that will help you to get some of that momentum, and also just some confidence. Have you already taken advantage of meetups or something like that? I feel like looking into meetups and maybe doing those once or twice so you can get some friends, or just even if you don't become best friends, just to be an energy of other people that are doing similar things.
Sure, I could definitely improve in that department, so
okay.
I will for sure.
Great. All right. Well, congratulations. This sounds really exciting, and just stay in that mindset of expecting positive outcomes, and knowing that the field is guiding you, and also and being being your oracle, and you're in a really good position. And I feel you have a really strong positive mindset anyway, so just know that that's okay, because sometimes society tells us, oh, you're being, you got to dig in, like Abraham-Hicks says. No, always release it to the universe. That's actually the secret.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in, Allie. And let me know how it goes. Call
All
back
right.
another time.
I will. Bye.
Bye now. Ooh, it's 11:44. That's a good number for it to be. We have another caller. Let's do that. Hi, who's this?
Hi, my name is Lori.
Hi, Lori. What's going on today?
How are you?
I'm great.
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. Very good. What do you have on your mind?
Yeah. Huh?
What's on your mind today?
I am struggling with my decision to stay living in California or go back to where my kids and my family are in Idaho. I got a job offer in Idaho that's a lot more money, but I'm currently also working in California. So I'm just really torn as to which way to turn.
Well, I mean, I'll just tell you, as I feel into you with that energy that you're presenting, it feels like Idaho feels really good. And, well, you're making a lot more money in Idaho, and Idaho is an economy, so you're making a lot more money. The economy is a little easier on you.
Yes.
And it would be lovely to be.
Yes.
You have 2 children, and they're adults. Is that right?
I have 5 children.
Woo!
Yeah, I have 5 children and 4 grandchildren.
Oh, that's wonderful. And they're all in Idaho?
All but one. He's in the Navy.
Oh, okay, great. So there's 2 that that show up for me as a couple that you that you're going to be interacting with. It's almost like that you guys will become best friends, or not that you aren't already. And then, so that will be really fun. And then there's one who could really use your energy in the space, and you guys will be helping each other, because that one child you'll uplift that child's kind of situation just with your presence. So is there a romantic thing that's here in California too? I'm in California, that's why I say here in California.
Yeah. I live with my boyfriend.
Oh, so that's the hold up, and he is not sure if he wants to do it or if he can do it, right? It feels like too great a sacrifice for him, yes?
No, he wouldn't move with me to Idaho. If I went back to Idaho, our relationship would be done.
Okay. And so you've been questioning that for a little bit anyway, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you feel the time crunch because you need to say yes to this job. So,
correct.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and give yourself the space today. Right now, the reason it's feeling very confusing is because you are sort of non-present. So today isn't the day it's a Sunday anyway. You don't have to tell Idaho yes or no today. What you want to get is just find your absolute clarity about it and find your way to make the decision out of love. So leaving your boyfriend, find the way that is a loving decision. I understand there's still a lot of affection, but there is a feeling of we love each other, I love him, but it's not a fit, right? The partnership itself, right?
Right. Yeah, because I don't get along too well with his family.
Okay. And then you have your family there. So you just need to sit in that space a little bit and release the time expectation, be very present. And all you have to do is you have to get really simple and really general and just ask, where is the most love? Because when we choose the most love for ourselves, that is actually serving the universe. Because we are not just in nature, we are nature. And so the tree receiving the most nutrients means that the tree will be then giving off the most quality of oxygen and all of the other nutrients in ways that it serves nature as well. So you're a tree too, and the cue that you're making the right decision for yourself and everybody is how you feel. So find the most love in this situation. I mean, we have so much love over here with more money, children, your children, and then we have you don't have to pay too much attention to the negative part of it. Just that's what gets complicated. Is if we make when we make the pros and cons list, that just gets there's too many details there. All you have to do is forget about the cons and find all of those pros, and the simplest feeling of where the pros are, you know what I mean? Like just the overarching feeling of love, of caring for yourself. See, even as I say that, I can feel you feeling that. Caring for myself means taking the job and being with my children.
Right.
Yeah. And you actually have some affection for Idaho, right? I mean, there's so many things that you have so much nostalgia and some real feelings about that. And you like both jobs pretty equally. The present job and the new job. Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of...
One's a lot more simpler than the other one. The Idaho one is pretty demanding. The California one is pretty easy.
Yeah, but is the demand something that could be a challenge that's exciting and augments you? And or is it... Yeah, how does that feel for you then?
It's, you work 12 hours, you work nights. Yeah, I work 6 hours, I work in school.
Okay. All right, then.
So health-wise and stuff, it's kind of more demanding just because of the schedule.
Well, then you can allow that to be a bit of an oracle too. So you can give yourself the space can you negotiate with that job a little bit?
No, they're 12-hour shifts.
Okay. All right, then. So here's the other thing too I'm gonna advise you on is that sometimes things are just cues about where we're going. If that job is not, besides the money, if like you say the health and the other aspects of it, if that isn't outweighing everything, then it could just mean that you're getting prepared and that it means that the field is still getting this ready for you. It's almost there. It could mean that, but I'm going to need you. I'm not going to tell you right now. It feels like there is a lot of energy about making that move, but it may not be. This could be a preparation for the right thing, but you're going to have to go back to yourself and your own space and be very present and decide where the love is. Now, if the love is moving to Idaho eventually, but this job is just not the right one and then not the right reason, then sit in that expectation that you will find the perfect reason. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, intuitives, as a psychic, I can tell you, I can read the energy right now, but that doesn't help you as much as you creating new energy in your future. If I read the energy right now and tell you what this future of this timeline looks like, that's limiting. You are a creator. You can, if you listen to the beginning of the show, you can select any reality out of the field of potentiality, which is infinite. So, but if I read the energy right now, there's some things that need smoothing out, which is the job the absolute perfect one. So when the universe offers you an opportunity like, hey, you can move and make more money, then, however, there's something else that's like a part of it that I don't really like. If you go ahead and release that, because there is an aspect of it, like the day-to-day work of it is actually compromising your health and all that kind of thing, then if you release it out of self-love, then you can, what you want to do is the offer from the universe of moving to a place, to Idaho and also having more money, that opportunity you can still claim. And you're just waiting for that third piece of it being a healthy situation for you as well. You can just sit back and wait for the field to prepare that aspect of it as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
You just say, yes, I liked that part. Like you say to Chef brought out something for you, and it was like, hey, I made you pasta Alfredo with fish. And you're like, ooh, see, I forgot to really give you that I don't like fish. I forgot to tell you that part. And so you send it back. You send it back to Chef and say, I actually want chicken. He's going to bring you that's how the universe works. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, well, I didn't create that part exactly perfectly, but you got chicken in the kitchen, so I'm going to send back my pasta Alfredo. It's going to take him another 10 minutes, but you just sit back and you expect it to happen. And you're like, he's got Alfredo, and he's got everything else for me, and he's bringing out exactly what I want.
Okay. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, good. Just keep seeking the love for yourself and everyone else involved, and that will always be the right decision.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Lori. Thanks for calling in. Good luck with that. Let me know how it goes.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. Was that another call? We have time for another caller? Okay, let's do that. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, this is Kathy. How are you?
Good. Kathy, are you with a K or a C?
I'm a K.
All right, cool. What's going on? I'm great. Thank you for asking. What's on your mind today?
You're welcome. Just a couple of things. I have some health things going on. I just want to know what you thought about. And I wanted to ask you a question about my dog.
Okay. So the health things, is there something going on with it feels like in the lungs or somewhere in the core area here?
Yes, I'm vibrating, and they don't know why.
Vibrating? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's like this from the stomach up, my back, my chest. It goes into my head, and I'm vibrating, and they don't know why.
They as in the doctors? They can...
I mean, like... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just said they being the doctors or something?
Yes.
Interesting. And so is it something that is like you can see it or they're detecting it?
No.
Okay. You just feel it?
Only I can feel it. Yes, I feel it.
Okay.
Right. It's like if you're sitting at a red light and a car is idling. Well, it's a lot stronger than that, but that's what it feels like.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so and this has been going on for what, like a week or so?
No, about 3 years.
Oh, goodness. Okay, and you never get relief from it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every so often it stops, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. So I feel like I'm just going to tell you what I'm getting clairvoyantly that can just start to help is to increase the water intake, but also the saline intake. So meaning like real sea salt. Maybe add a pinch of sea salt, just a small pinch of sea salt to water. Increase that, almost like bring that up to. Bring it up to like 3 times what you're doing right now. It's not fun at first because you're going to be in the bathroom, releasing it all the time, but pretty soon your body will start to use a lot more of it. But really increase that water. And then I'm seeing green, maybe even look into taking there are some kinds of supplements, vitamins that are like basically vegetables and fruits that are dehydrated, so they're really...
I'm a vegan. I eat that all the time.
Perfect. Okay. I think even maybe some juicing then. It's something like juicing, like the green juicing. Yeah, okay.
Do that.
Perfect. Okay, good. So do the water, keep up including the green, that chlorophyll and the antioxidants in that. And then some extreme movement. So there's some classes, some exercise classes that you would really like to take that would be a bit more vigorous. Is it dancing or is it kickboxing or something like that you really would kind of...
I can't. I'm having a hard time with any of that because I'm highly allergic to rubber and latex, so I can't go into anybody's studios. So whatever I do, I have to do at home.
Well, there are different kinds of clinics that you can take. They do them in the park. And so, yeah. And, you can, it's all body movement and stuff like that. Look into that because it feels to me like a vigorous kind of exercise would be really good.
Okay.
Along with that water and along with that extreme green component can really start to push through this and believe in these aspects as being the cure. And, but I think the class thing is really good.
Do you know why? Do you know why this is happening?
I just see it starting in the gut.
Okay.
And I don't know what that means. I just pick that up in my own gut, like empathically, clairsentiently, and but then it feels like it goes back to the spine. It almost, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I just
I know that.
So it's so funny.
I kind of keep thinking it's the spine. Something, I don't know why.
It feels
I don't know why, but I keep going back to maybe it is my spine.
Have you done some acupuncture?
Yes, and it actually backfires on me. I go twice a week, and when I come home, I'm in about 4 hours later, I'm in a lot of pain.
Change acupuncturist,
and then the vibrating gets worse.
Change acupuncturist,
The vibrating...
Try someone else. Try acupuncturist. Someone else is...
this guy is great.
He just
I just...
But
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's not to say that he's not great, but you guys may not align in that way. You know what I mean? Just like the previous caller, there's a lot of great things with the relationship, but it's not a good partnership. So, you know what I mean? Like your energies just may be aligning in some ways, but not others. That's just a thought that came to me.
I'm going to start Tuesday. So have you ever heard of somatic healing?
Yes.
Or somatic experience? I'm going to start that on Tuesday. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that sounds great. You can also look into craniosacral therapy. Those are some other things. Craniosacral is good because that has to do with the brain and the nervous system. So, yeah, those sound really good to me, too.
Right.
And then some essential oils would be another nice thing to look into. I only have a couple minutes left. You asked me, let me see if I can get one more thing. What was the other thing? I forgot.
My dog.
Dog.
I have a German Shepherd, black German Shepherd named Bear. His one back leg was swelling. They don't know why. The vets don't know why. He didn't get bit by anything. They think maybe it was a skin infection, but the swelling is still there. He's on his second shot of an antibiotic, and they don't know. Another thing that they don't know.
Another thing. And it's the back right.
Another thing.
It's on the right side, right? The back right?
I think it is, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and it's somehow, I was getting it starting in the foot. It seems like, so it's starting in the foot, and I can tell you what it feels like. It feels like it's hot, and it feels like, have you ever had shingles? It feels like a shingle kind of thing, which is a virus. So.
Are you in a dog? I know I had the shingles.
I don't know if it is shingles. I don't know if they get it. I'm just, that's what it feels like to me. I've had a shingle before. So it's inflamed and it's hot, and that's a virus. So if the antibiotics don't work.
It's a virus.
Well, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that's what I'm feeling, and I know that shingles is a virus.
Yep.
So if spirit is helping us with those cues, if the antibiotics don't work, but sometimes antibiotics do help viruses. So if it doesn't work, then look into something that's antiviral. That is something more, like shingles is like that is the herpes chickenpox virus that just needs to go dormant. Yeah, so it just needs to go dormant. So it could be something like that, and that is also kept in the spine. That is kept in the... Oh, it's okay. I only have 1 minute left, but I'm just finding some interesting overlaps here because those viruses are in the spine, and that is what you think your issue is as well, and our animals are healing us. So also tell your dog, tell Bear, that he can release this. Thank you for your service of energy healing. You can release this, and we're working on this together. Okay? Spine is about, and your spine, and the gut and all that kind of stuff is about support. It's about being able to be supported on this 3D plane, and that's the gut is about your inner CEO and how you relate to the third dimension. And I'm out of time, but I so thank you for calling, and please do let me know how it goes.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you so much for calling in, and thank you everyone for listening and watching today and in all time and space. I'm Tricia Carr. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.